The other day when I was talking to a few herd managers, I asked them, what's the most common and frustrating mistake that you deal with at the dairy? What do you think they all said? If you answered mixing up cows, you're right. Although I don't think there's a way to make this less frustrating, hopefully today we can at least make it a little less common at your dairy. Let's shoot straight. Cows don't get mixed up. People mix up cows. Sure, sometimes smaller cows crawl under gates, and it's possible that some cows have figured out how to get them open. But I'm pretty certain cows don't know how to fly, even though we find them 2 and 3 pens away from where they originally started. Almost always, cows get mixed up as a result of carelessness. They get mixed up when milkers and cow movers don't communicate, and when gates aren't closed or chained properly. Once you learn which gates you need to open and close when you're moving cows, it's important that you concentrate and do your work correctly. It's also critical that you make sure you chain gates securely so cows can't open them on their own. Now that we've talked about how cows get mixed up in the barns, let's focus on the most common area of the dairy where cows get mixed up, and that's in the parlor. Why do you think the parlor is the most common place that cows get mixed up? It's because milkers and cow movers don't communicate very well at the end of one pen and at the beginning of another. Sometimes cow movers don't check with the milkers to make sure they got all the cows from the last group. And sometimes milkers don't tell cow movers when all the cows in a group are done milking. So what are the effects and consequences of mixing up cows? This creates more work for the herd manager. You see, every day, herd managers have a list of cows they need to find in order to make sure these cows are healthy, give them shots, and even breed them. But if cows aren't where they're supposed to be, herd managers spend more time looking for cows than actually working with them. Looking for mixed up cows is a huge waste of the herd manager's time. And if the vet's there too, looking for mixed up cows gets really expensive. What happens if a treated cow gets mixed up and you don't notice her leg band? You run the risk of accidentally milking a treated cow into the tank. And that's a pretty serious problem. Not just for your boss, but for you too. As milkers and cow movers, you're responsible for bringing the right cows back to the right pens at every milking. So let's look at the most important concern, and that's how it affects the cows. As you might already know, mixed up pens affect the cow's eating habits, the amount of time she's able to rest, her milking schedule, and finally, her social environment. Every day the feeder mixes and delivers enough feed for 100 cows. But if 5 cows get mixed up, the pen with just 95 cows will have too much feed, and the other pen with 105 cows doesn't have enough. So in one pen, there's feed that gets wasted, and in the other, there's not enough. Have you ever noticed how cows interact with each other in their pens? Believe it or not, cows are very social creatures. Typically, the older, bigger cows are more dominant and aggressive, while the younger, smaller ones are more submissive and passive. Oftentimes, the more dominant animals don't let the timid ones eat or drink. Then, after a while, cows adapt to each other and get comfortable with their pen mates. What do you think happens to milk production when cows get stressed out? You're right, they produce less milk. The reality is that when cows get mixed up, the dairy loses money. Not only because cows produce less milk when this happens, but also because someone has to spend time looking for each cow and then put them back in the correct pens. Extra work means extra time, and extra time costs the dairy extra money. I'm 100% certain that your boss simply wants you and your coworkers to do things right, so that cows don't get mixed up in the first place. My challenge to you and your team is this, and it's simple. Let's see how many days the dairy can go without mixing up any cows. Can you do it for an entire week? A month? A year? Mixing up cows is a problem that affects both people and cows. By improving communication between each pen and paying more attention to gates, everyone on your team can prevent mixing up cows. You can do it. The question is, do you want to?